The mall was built by Mace department store chain, and groundbreaking began in 1976. The famous bar anchor store, a division of the May Company, was the first portion of the mall to open on October 16, 1978. The remainder of the mall would open on November 15, 1978, including the second anchor, JCPenney, would open too. It was later sold to May Centers, Inc. As you walk up to the old Sears anchor, you'll see it says NCG Cinema on it. The NCG took the old Sears slot, partly, on the first level, and they decided to wall it off like all the mall's problems. As you can see, it still has the brick on the top, but you just can't go in there. Could just be me, but this mall also looks like a school with all those advertisements on the side and like telling the tallest person from Alton or Abraham Lincoln, something like that. It's just the most random stuff. Like you wouldn't even expect it in a mall. The mall then was sold to Centermark, and then after that was sold to Melvin Simon Associates of Indianapolis in February of 1993. A third acre structure, Sears, was added during a renovation in 1997. The famous bar anchor converted to a Macy's in 2006. Simon Property Group, Inc. sold the mall to Coyote Management in Texas of 2007. The mall would be kind of tossed up around this time, just going from owner to owner. In 2009, a 10-screen Premier Cinemas theater was announced to open for the mall, but it did not open. Coyote Management sold the mall to Northmark Capital in 2010. Here's what a map would look like around 2012-2011. In April of 2012, it was announced that Sears would close as a part of a plan. Sears closed on June 3rd of 2012. Sears was converted to Illinois Wholesale Furniture, which also closed. A community library would for some reason open up in a mall, which I would not expect. I don't know, Hainer Public Library, never expected it to be in a mall. But I mean, I guess you have to turn old storefronts into something. Also, I don't know if you know this, guys, but the floor didn't used to be carpet. On the top story, it was mostly brick for the floor, and on the bottom, it was beautiful tile. For some reason, actually, we'll get to why it isn't tile in a little second here. In 2015, Northmark sold the mall to Whole Property Group. That same year, a Ross Dress for Less store was added along with a Hibbett Sports. In March of 2017, Family Christian stores closed, and Whole Properties announced a redevelopment of the mall. Also around this time, the Macy's would close. One of the best parts about this mall is all the classic logos over here. So we have Claire's and old classic Spencer's, which I've never seen in a mall before, and just a bunch of old-fashioned stores that are amazing. Also, these carpets look like they're wacky. They look a little bit silly, guys. I don't know, in the redevelopment, they changed this, and honestly, if I had a mall like this in my home, If this was my home mall, I would kind of be sad. As a part of the redevelopment, they would completely wipe out the Macy's, turning it into parking lot. Like there wasn't enough of that. I don't know why they wouldn't have just left it there in case of another tenant wanted to move in there, but they also would add a movie theater to the old Sears site, the NCG I was talking about earlier. And they would just kind of put storefronts up, like empty drywall up where old stores used to be, basically walling off their problems, which is not a very good way of going about it. Also, if anybody knows what the library used to be, I know I'm kind of bringing this up in an awkward time, but if anybody that used to live in Alton knows what the library was, if it was just empty stores or if it was an actual, like, junior anchor, I don't know. But also, at this point, just a little reminder that JCPenney was the only anchor left, the only original anchor out of all the anchors. I wouldn't really call Ross an anchor, be more of a junior anchor, kind of like the movie theater. But yeah, it's kind of how the mall sits today. Make sure to watch out where you're walking in Alton Square Mall. You might accidentally hit one of the 10,000 poles in this center court area. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, this is like, it looks like randomly, it's just AI generated. I don't know. In May of 2017, the mall announced that Hallmark and Things Remembered would both be closing their locations inside the mall. Weirdly, the Hallmark is still there, even though it says it closed on here, but anyway. On November 22nd, Vitamin World announced they would close their store in all of St. Louis, including Alton Square. And over the years, the mall continued to struggle with stores and store closings. In February of 2019, Slackers CDs and Games announced it would move to the Christian bookstore, former space from elsewhere in Alton. This music perfectly sums up this mall, a mall that's dying and is soon to be on its deathbed. losing tenants. As we leave, I will see you next week in a very, very dead mall. I mean, like peak dead mall-ism. Next week, we'll be at an abandoned mall in Florissant, Missouri. So I'll see you there.